Welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Gete. A bomb explosion reportedly carried out by Boko Haram insurgents has gone off in Sabongari area of Zaria, Kaduna State, with 25 people confirmed dead, including a 2-year-old child. The blast reportedly went off at 9 a.m. at the local government secretariat, where civil servants were undergoing biometric screening. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, who visited the scene of the blast, confirmed that a terrorist bomb attack killed 25 people in Sabongari, Zaria, with 32 people injured. He called on citizens of the state to be vigilant and avoid crowded places like markets, mosques, churches, and motor parks in the next few weeks. It would be recalled that on Monday night, a young girl believed to be just 13 was killed when explosives strapped to her body detonated near a major mosque in Kano City. The explosion came a day after another suicide bomber blew himself up at a church in the city of Patiskum, Yobe State, killing 5 people, and a twin attack in the central city of Jos that killed 44 people. There was no immediate claim of responsibility, but Zaria has been attacked before by Boko Haram Islamists, who have increased their attacks on civilians in the last month. Zaria is located some 75 kilometers, 47 miles from the capital Kaduna City and the north of Kaduna State, not far from the border with Katsina and Kano State. The area of the blast has since been cordoned off by security personnel. As the people of Plateau State are still reeling from the recent twin bomb blast that claimed several lives, the Plateau Police Command has called on members of the public to go about their normal businesses because enough measures have been taken to forestall recurrence of the sad event. The Police Commissioner, Nasiru Oki, said 42 lives were lost in the blast, while 50 are currently receiving treatment at various medical centers in the state.
So far,
how many killed and how many
42 died by our records, and 50 are injured, presently receiving treatment in the hospitals.
While giving the police account of the just attack, the police boss called on the members of the public to be vigilant and immediately report any suspicious person or object within their vicinity.
Bomb explosions that occurred in Jos City on the 5th of July 2015 at about 9:20 hours. The Plateau State Police Command sincerely commiserates with the government of Plateau State, the good people of Plateau State, and the families of those who lost their lives and property during the incident. This is also to intimate the members of the public on the update of the unfortunate incident that the first explosion, which detonated by 2 female suicide bombers, occurred in Shangalinku restaurant along Bauchi Road, Jos.
The Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, has mandated State Command Commissioners of Police to strengthen security at all mosques, churches, and other worship centers across the country. Adequate security has also been ordered for venues where Muslims break fast in the evenings. The police warned worshippers to be vigilant and promptly report any suspicious persons or substance found in or around their environment. In his resolve to end the lingering crisis of unpaid workers' salaries in the country and several states of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved a comprehensive relief package. Sources said President Buhari approved a 3-pronged relief package, including sharing of fresh allocations, granting of soft loans, and restructuring of states' debt servicing payments. The packages are expected to go into effect this week, as the president is said to have directed that release of the funds should be made urgently to usage to assuage the plight of thousands of Nigerian workers in the federal and state government. Breaking down the packages, about $2.1 billion will be shared in fresh allocation between the states and the federal government. The money sourced from recent liquefied natural gas (LNG) proceeds to the Federation account. Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) packaged special intervention fund that will offer financing to the state ranging from between 250 billion naira and 300 billion naira. This would be a SAT loan that states would assess to pay the backlog of salaries, implementing a debt relief program proposed by the Debt Management Office (DMO), which will help states restructure their commercial loans, currently put at more than 660 billion naira, and extend the lifespan of such loans while reducing their debt servicing expenditures. Also, a total of 391 billion naira from the excess crude account (ECA) will be shared among the three tiers of government, the Accountant General of the Federation, Hamid Idris, disclosed yesterday. With the 413.7 billion naira LNG proceeds, it means the three tiers of government will share a total of 804.7 billion naira. By extending the commercial loans of the states according to the third package, more funds will be made available to the state government, which otherwise would have been claimed at source by the banks. There was pandemonium in Osogbo Tuesday morning when people suspected to be thugs disrupted a protest organized by a group of civil society's coalition for the emancipation of Osun to rally support for Justice Folahomi Olayede, a serving judge of the State High Court who petitioned the State House of Assembly to investigate Governor Ralph Arabeshala for alleged mismanagement of the state resources. Reports from Osogbo say skirmishes between the protesters and the hoodlums took place shortly after the rally commenced. The march, which began at Ayetoro Junction at about 9 a.m., had earlier witnessed a hitch when some people pelted the protesters with sachet water, but the situation was later brought under control. The protesters, led by leaders of CSCEO, were joined by members of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners (NUP) in a march that was to terminate at the gate of the State House of Assembly. Anti-riot policemen were later brought in to put the situation under control. 7th July 2015 makes it 17 years since the demise of the acclaimed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Moshood Abiola. In an event to commemorate the day, members of the civil societies have called on the federal government to posthumously declare him as elected president of the country. Abiola Oluwole was at the residence of the late Abiola, venue of the commemorative anniversary. His report.
Chants from members of civil societies at the Ikeja residence of late MKO Abiola herald the 17th year anniversary of the late philanthropist and politician. Abiola died in an incarceration on July 7, 1998, while trying to retrieve his mandate from the Sani Abacha-led military junta, led by a former military administrator of Lagos State, Indu Bisi Kanu, and the convener of the Women Arise Initiative, Joe Oke Odumakin. The activists centered their speeches on the need for the federal government to keep the spirit of late Abiola alive by banishing poverty from the land, as well as give every Nigerian a sense of belonging by developing all sectors of the nation's economy.
On June 12th, Nigerians actually had a referendum, not just an election. The referendum for military rule to cease, the referendum for democracy to resume, not prevented, and a referendum for one thing more, for which MKO were very much committed, and that is going back to a federal Nigeria where I keep repeating, even though tribe and talk deliver, will stand the brotherhood and sisterhood.
Our gathering is to prove a point, and that point is that we will never, ever forget the ultimate prize that MKO Abiola.
Speaking on behalf of the Abiola family, a daughter of the late business mogul, Hafsat Abiola Castello, called on the ruling class to place premium on the yearnings of Nigerians instead of pursuing personal gains.
Even if we've lost MKO and we've lost many like MKO over the last decades, let us not lose the lessons of their lives. Let us be willing to sacrifice for Nigeria. I am concerned by some of the actions of our leaders at the national legislature, the way in which they're fighting over positions, fighting for power. The only thing that is important to fight for now is to end poverty in Nigeria. The only thing that is worthwhile to fight for now is the upliftment of our people.
As the people depart the residence of Abiola, according the needed respect to the man said to have paid the supreme price for the nation's democracy, there remains a question begging for an answer. Will Abiola be given a national recognition? Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The federal government has assured Nigerians that it will pay oil marketers their subsidy claims after verification. It also maintained that fuel queues, which resurfaced recently in some parts of the country, would soon disappear. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Anastasia Daniel Nwabia, gave these assurances after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja. She noted that a committee is in place to verify the liability on subsidy.
The state of Nigerian finances is okay. We're still, our finances are still okay, though we're going through challenges of revenue stream to government. This, you know, obviously is from the oil shock, the price in the oil that has dropped. It has significantly reduced the revenue stream to government, but we're working in other ways to see how we can shore up revenue so that we'll be able to meet our expenditure. We did not say that we will not pay subsidy. Like the former minister said, there is liability on subsidy which is being verified by the CBN, the Budget Office of the Federation, and the CBN. I think the issue was to do with the foreign exchange differentials which they were claiming. And this committee is looking into it. As soon as it is resolved, I think we'll be able to pay the verified amount.
A team of police detectives was at the National Assembly to investigate allegations of forgery leveled against Deputy Senate President Ekwekwemadu. The six-man police team, led by a commissioner of police, visited Ekwemadu's office in the course of a visit to the legislative complex at about 2 p.m. A police officer attached to the National Assembly told CoreTV News that the detectives from the Force Criminal Investigation Department invited the Deputy Senate President to their office in Area 10, Abuja. There is no independent confirmation of the invite, but there are indications that the detectives may have taken some documents from the National Assembly Administrative Office. The police say it has neither summoned nor ordered the arrest of Deputy Senate President Ekwekwemadu. It, however, confirmed that it has launched an investigation into allegations by an unnamed senator that Senator Ekwemadu tampered with the Senate rule book. Deputy Force Public Relations Officer Abayomi Shogunle told CoreTV News that a letter has been since written to the clerk of the National Assembly to schedule a meeting with police investigators for further clarification on the matter.
The Nigerian Police Force received a petition from one of the distinguished senators, which allegations regarding unauthorized substitution of Senate documents. At no point did the Nigerian Police Force summon the Deputy Senate President. There was no time the Nigerian Police Force planned to arrest any senator.
Deputy Senate President Ekwekwemadu is insisting that he would not succumb to intimidation or harassment in the course of discharging his duties in the National Assembly. He also maintained that everything is being done to preserve the independence of the legislature. Senator Ekwekwemadu said this in his first public reaction to allegations that he forged the Senate rules. He also ordered in a statement issued by his media aide Uche Anichukwu that his life and liberty are being threatened by desperate politicians. The Deputy Senate President, however, noted that steps are being taken by the security agencies to beef up security around him. He, however, expressed confidence that the measures being adopted by government would eventually ensure the decimation and defeat of the insurgents. It's CoreTV News at 4. Go on this break. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. Now, if you've just joined us, it's CoreTV News at 4. And do not forget that for more on CoreTV News, you can reach us on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com/CoreTV /Space News. Acting Chairman of the Independent National Commission, Amina Bala Zakari, has approved the reconstitution of 14 standing committees. This was contained in a memo issued on Monday and signed by the Secretary to the Commission, Augusta Ogako. Each of the 5 national commissioners is heading at least 2 committees, with the INEC Chairman herself heading committees on information technology and voter registry, finance and general purpose and security. Ogako said in a memo that the committees are expected to commence operations from July 1st, 2015. Governors of the southeast states comprising of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu and Imo have converged in Owerri, the Imo state capital, with a view to work harmoniously for the common interest of the people of the zone, irrespective of differences in party affiliations. Ajibede Awofeso was there. He filed in this report.
Southeast governors more than ever set to work together. The governors of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu and Imo at a forum have agreed to put heads together for the progress of the region. The host governor, Rochas Okorocha, speaking on behalf of his counterparts at the end of a 3-hour closed-door meeting, disclosed all that the forum resolved on.
I have resolved to work together as governors from the Southeast Zone. And we have agreed to still hold Enugu as our zonal headquarters, where all our activities and meetings will take place from now henceforth. I want to appeal to all Igbos to support the return to Enugu as the headquarters of the Southeast. The governor of Enugu definitely has assured us that he's ready to play the host because Enugu remains our capital for the Southeast.
The forum also agreed to work together in combating insecurity in the entire Southeast region.
And the Governor's Forum Secretariat will be established in Enugu, the Southeast. We have also looked at the issue of security as it affects our people of the Southeast, and we have resolved again to work together to fight crime, especially that of kidnapping, courtesan, baby factory, and so many of these criminal activities that is common in the Southeast. So we have resolved to work together, and very soon we shall be inviting all our security chiefs to work together to make sure we end crime and then look into our borders.
Although Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State was absent at the meeting, issues bordering his state was top on the agenda. The forum also called on the federal government to take a rethink on the Boko Haram detainees recently moved to the region. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasser El-Rufai has debunked claim by his predecessor, Muktar Yero, that Yero left behind 8 billion naira in the state's treasury. The governor was reacting to claim by the former deputy governor, Nuhu Bajoga, at the reception organized for him by the Southern Kaduna's People's Democratic Party. Penultimate Saturday, that the immediate past administration in the state left 8 billion naira for the current All Progressives Congress administration. Speaking through his special assistant on media and publicity, Samuel Arua, the governor said the Yero's government left behind 8 billion naira counterpart fund and not working money capital, as claimed by Bajoga. El-Rufai spokesman stated this at a press conference held at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim House, Kaduna, on Sunday. Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai has sworn in 11 political appointees. The newly sworn-in political appointees include 2 women who are or who would be occupying the office of Head of Service and Chief of Staff. Speaking at the ceremony, the governor said they got the job on merit and urged them to live up to expectations.
Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as Head of Service of Kaduna State of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and in accordance with the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I, Aziz Abala Osman, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as Chief of Staff of Kaduna State of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and in accordance with the laws of the Federal Republic.
Right, for due discharge of my duties.
I would like to remind you of your oath of office and call on you to read that oath of office regularly from time to time to remind you of the commitment you made before God and the people of Kaduna State. In my opinion, the most important commitment there is that you swore to do right to all manners of people without affection or ill will. That means everyone that lives in this state is a citizen of the state and you must treat him or her equally.
Back to Lagos, where 4 suspects arrested in connection with the Ikorodu Bank robbery have been paraded by the former Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Kayode Aderonti. Abiola Oluwole was at the State's Police Command. He brought back this report.
Precisely on the 24th of June, residents and security operatives in Ikorodu, a suburb of Lagos, was caught with robbery on 2 commercial banks in the area. The bandits escaped with a boat via the lagoon. Parading 4 arrested members of the robbery gang, the outgoing Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Kayode Aderonti, says the command will continue to make the state uncomfortable for criminals.
The whole process is concluded. We are still making efforts to apprehend others. I believe this is a very good parting gift. That under my watch, there's no crime that was committed in Lagos that we did not go to the extent of smashing it. Whether it is armed robbery, whether it's kidnapping, or sundry offenses that was committed, we've been able to ensure that they're taken care of. This, in a way, will go to show that the police is alive to its responsibility of protecting lives and properties. We've been able to accomplish that in this state. Ditto Nigeria as a whole.
The suspects paraded are Monday Omoboye, Agbojule Bright, Monday Ikweson, and Promise Abiwa. They speak on how the crime was planned.
Was there any woman in that gang?
No, sir.
So the person they said is a woman. Who is he?
No any woman, sir.
So the person who resembles a woman, who is he?
No any woman.
I think you've heard him. There's no woman in that gang. There's no woman.
As they hear say I did water side, say na Lagos I did. Now they call me. So me I can't drive them. Me and that my second.
Which people call you? Who here say you did Lagos?
Those people, Vika and Kakadu.
Okay. Now, so articles recovered from the suspects include 2 Lexus and Infiniti Jeeps bought from the proceeds of the robbery incidents. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, the new Lagos Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owoseni, has promised to fortify the existing security architecture of the state. Owoseni retweeted this while taking over from his predecessor, Kayode Aderonti, at State Command. Speaking before handing over, Aderonti called on residents to support the new Commissioner of Police.
I want you to give all the national corporation the same thing that you accorded me during my short stay.
Just a continuation of the good work that CP Agreement has done. We hope to continue. And, I will count on your support because you feel the pulse from the people. We want to listen to you. You are within the community, and of course, your input into how we strategize policing Lagos State is very, very vital.
The Plateau State Ministry of Health on Monday disclosed that 167 cases of cholera had been recorded, with 8 deaths since May 2015 in 2 local government areas of the state. Ibrahim Kontor, the Director of Primary Health Care and Disease Control, made this disclosure in an interview with the newsmen in Jos. Guntur said 134 cases and 6 deaths were recorded in Jos North, while Jos South had 33 cases with 2 deaths. The ministry had put measures in place to contain the incidents and to reduce deaths, adding that cases of cholera outbreaks were usually rampant between March and September. The director also advised them to wash their fruits in salt water or vinegar and imbibe the culture of washing hands with soap or ash. They must also keep their toilets or latrine and the environment clean and avoid open defecation, Gontor added. It's CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another break. Please stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
But some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. Greece Bank seems to be running out of cash as Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras prepares to take his latest bailout proposal to the country's Eurozone creditors, days after Greek voters overwhelmingly rejected their latest bailout offer. Officials have announced that the banks would remain closed until Thursday as European Central Bank ECB slowly tightens a nose on its funding. The daily withdrawal limits were to remain unchanged at 60 euros per account daily. And now to electricity, where Abuja Electricity Distribution Company AEDC has paid total penalties of 8 billion naira to the market operator MO for imbalanced electricity take from the national grid from November 2013, when the government handed over electricity assets to private investment. AEDC, in a statement from its head of public relations, Ahmed Shekaro, disclosed that it had paid this much within 18 months as fine imposed on it by the MMO for taking extra power from the grid to meet the demands of its customers in its franchise distribution zones. Customers of the electricity utility cut across the states of Kogi, Nasarawa, parts of Niger, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Shekaro said that the 8 billion naira was levied on it by MO following the repeated collection of electricity beyond its allocated mark, according to the load allocation ratio for distribution of electricity generated into the national grid. AEDC is allowed just about 11.5% of whatever amount of energy that is generated daily into the national grid. As the nation continues to witness serious financial uncertainties occasioned by the fall in world oil prices, The Fiscal Responsibility Commission has said that the trend may continue unabated, except government at all levels look ahead for alternative means to generate revenues outside the Federation account. It also disclosed that the non-compliance by the government with the relevant sections of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, reckless spending by government officials, massive corruption and greed could equally be blamed for shortages of government revenues in the present circumstances. The Act also required the Commission to monitor the operation and management of the excess crude account, but since the Commission started this account, the Budget Implementation Report has never disclosed the opening and closing balances of the excess crude account, as drawing from the ECA have been in total disregard of the FRA 2007, which specified the condition for withdrawal from the account. Meanwhile, the Commission has expressed its support for the federal government's move to draw from the excess crude account to bail out states to enable them pay arrears of salaries, provided such withdrawals would be used appropriately for the purpose they are meant for. The Commission's position was made known at the weekend during the management team interaction with newsmen in Abuja. The equities market closed on a negative note as Nigerian Stock Exchange NSE All Share Index ASI depreciated by 0.28% to close at 447.05 basis points, compared with 0.61% depreciation recorded previously. Its year-to-date YDT returns currently stands at 6.38%. Market breadth also closed negative as Namath lured 21 gainers against 31 losers, topped by UACN at the end of yesterday's session, and on improved performance when compared with previous outlooks. Market turnover, however, closed positive as volumes moved up by 25.80% against 25.80% decline recorded in the previous session. Access, UBA and Diamond were the most active to boost market turnover. Zenith Bank and Nigerian Breweries topped market value list. Volume shockers included Transex PR, which led the list of active stocks, recorded impressive volume spike at the end of yesterday's session. Meanwhile, lack of policy direction has been attributed to the slow economy amidst Naira volatility. Bullish sentiment at the early trading session of last week was short-lived after the month-end portfolio repositioning and window dressing by fund managers. As part of efforts to overcome cloning of electricity meters and other forms of fraud in Nigeria's electricity industry, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has said it is making some good progress in plans to deploy smart meter technology in the sector. NERC said in Abuja that it has taken delivery of a completed technical work it commissioned on regulation for smart metering, and which will now allow it set up the appropriate framework for deployment of smart meters to distribution networks in the country. It said that a number of the licensed electricity distribution companies in the sector have indicated their interest in deploying the technology in their network, adding that the expected regulation will provide the supporting framework for such development in the sector. Chairman of NERC, Sam Amadi, stated at a recent interaction with journalists that the draft regulation will be put out for public review and consideration before it is finalized and approved as a regulatory document for use in this regard. And now to sports, where five-weight world champion Floyd Mayweather has officially been stripped of the WBO welterweight belt won from money in May. The 38-year-old failed to pay the WBO $200,000 sanctioning fee by the 3rd of July deadline. Mayweather had been expected to relinquish the title by now after defeating Pacquiao to give younger fighters the chance to win belt. The WBO World Championship Committee says it's allowed no other alternative but to cease to recognize Mr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. as the WBO welterweight champion of the world. Fellow American Timothy Bradley will now become the full belt holder. However, Mayweather, who earned over $200 million from the fight, which generated a record pay-per-view revenue in the United States of $400 million, has 2 weeks to launch an appeal. The former senior national team handler has advised the Nigeria Football Federation to appoint an expatriate as replacement for fired Big Boss. Former Nigeria senior national team handler Johannes Bonfrey has made a passionate call to the NFF to appoint a foreign coach as next Super Eagles coach. Stephen Keshi was shown the exit door by the Nigeria Football Federation on Saturday evening for lack of commitment to achieve the federation's objectives. According to the Dutchman who led the country's under-23 football team to win the 1996 Olympic football event, said only a foreign tactician can help the Super Eagles back to the peak again. I think the NFF needs to hire a foreign coach to take charge of the Super Eagles, Bonfrey told CompleteSportsNigeria.com. The Super Eagles have failed to make much impact since they won the African Cup of Nations in 2013, and it has to do with the inability of the coaches to take the team to new heights. The Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, is in advanced talks with Dutch coach Hesterin, who has handled Australia women's team, to take over the Super Falcons, reports AfricanFootball.com. The 53-year-old has also worked with the Dutch FA, PSV women's team as well as the Jordan women's team, leading them to win the 2010 Arabian Cup. Also on her CV are her stints with the Netherlands under 15, under 16 and under 19 women's team between 2002 and 2010. Over a decade, she won 43 caps for her native country. The NFF are in serious talks with Hesterin, and it is hoped an agreement will be reached very soon, a top NFF source said. And with that, we wrap off our news for this hour. Thank you so much for watching. Please join us again.